second. Hello, everyone. We're back again for the Bright Side Film Festival. This is our 10th year anniversary and season 19. So it's going to be this August 10th and 11th. And right now we have Mark with us, and you're the director of, let me see, I got to bring it up here. I have it on. Boom. Bound to Bushwick.
Bound by Bushwick. That's right. I wrote it. I produced it. I directed it. I have a small role in it. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, usually I see you and you're doing the acting. What made you decide to create and direct?
Yeah. So I started acting about 5 years ago, and I've always had this story concept. It's semi-autobiographical. It's set in Bushwick, where I grew up in 1979, and the main character is based on me. And I've been working on this project over many, many years. And It's really funny. And there's a big tie to Brightside with this.
No.
So I had hoped to film this last summer, and I was getting demoralized. I was working with a co-writer, and the script wasn't going in the direction I wanted. And Jack Foley, Dave Molzoff, and both Jersey filmmakers who know, who've had many films in your film. I've always wanted to create this film, and I started acting about 5 years ago. And in my mind, it was with the idea that eventually I was going to make my own, create my own project. And so I learned a lot over the last 5 years from many of the filmmakers that I've worked with and that I've watched at your film festivals and others. And right before 4th of July weekend last 2023, I was at the Brightside Tavern with Jack Foley and Dave Molzoff, both Jersey filmmakers who've had a number of films in your festivals. They asked me what was going on with my project. And at that point, I had gotten frustrated with my co-writer, and I said to them, I'm going to put this off till the summer of 2024. And they said, no, you're not. You're going to go ahead. This is a great project. We're with you. And I went home that 4th of July weekend, spent the entire weekend finalizing the script. And right after that, with Jack and Dave by my side, we started casting, nailing down locations. And in August, we started filming. And it all went from there. Yeah, we wrapped in November. Editing finished in February. And we were all really happy with how the project came out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a long one too. It's a long short. So
it's a long short. And you know what? Could I have knocked off a few minutes here or there? Yes. And this was the struggle that I had. Do I want to try to make it into a feature length film?
That's what I was going to ask. A feature maybe, because it's close.
It's close, and I could have, and I may. And I mean, the intent is that this is an unfinished project. And one of the issues I had with the fellow that was helping me co-write it was that he kept trying to get me to get it down to 12 to 15 minutes, which is obviously ideal for film festivals. I just felt like I couldn't tell my story in that short a period of time. As I said, could I have knocked off a few minutes? Could I have gotten it down to 30 minutes? Yes, I could have. I don't think that makes much of a difference, whether it's 33 or 30.
Yeah.
And so I just stuck to my guns, and I created the project the way I wanted to create it. And it's too long for some film festivals, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled with the ones that I've gotten into. To yours, we won Best Dramatic Short at Jersey Shore a few weeks ago. And
I was there.
The ones coming up. So we might not get into a lot of them, we're certainly not going to get into all of them. But the ones we get into are the ones that really appreciate the film and don't mind the fact that it's 33 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago, I did a 37-minute long one, and it got into festivals, so I was happy. But I just had something to say, I had something to say, and it took 37 minutes.
Exactly. And exactly. And I had something to say, and it took 33 minutes, and I couldn't have said it the way I wanted to say it if I made it much shorter. So It was either don't make it or make it the way I want and let the cards fall where they may. And I'm actually really happy with where the cards fell.
Yeah. And we have the long shorts and we have the short shorts. We have all different categories. So it works out.
Well, that's great. And that's why, it's perfect for your festival because you don't limit it to short shorts. And I think it's wonderful that you give filmmakers who have created a longer short or a medium short, like me, the opportunity to show their films. So thank you.
Yeah. We don't have too much time, but we have 2 days. But we have 110 films playing in 2 days, so it's quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of your festivals before, and they're so wonderfully run, and you seem to pack so much into the very short time period that you have. And of course, Brightside's such a great venue too, just to hang out and in between films and network and eat. And Tommy's great, love him. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, filming this, how difficult was it to get the whole production going? I know you talked a little bit about it, but
Yeah, it was very challenging. I mean, it was challenging to film because it's a period piece, and we filmed on the streets of Brooklyn for the most part. We did some interior shots. We found a tremendous old social club on Grand Street in Williamsburg to shoot the Italian social club scenes in. And my high school, Xavier, which is on 16th Street, which has a wing that was built in the 1800s, which essentially looks the same as it did when I went to school there in the 70s, allowed me to film there. So for the interior scenes, it was great. The exterior scenes, as you would imagine, were very, very challenging because you're dealing with vehicles and you're dealing with pedestrians and you're dealing with signs and all those other things that can give away the era of of when you're filming.
yeah, like have you ever seen the movie Gladiator and an airplane goes by?
No, I didn't. I saw it a long time ago, but I don't remember that. But I've heard other stories like that.
There's an airplane that flies over.
Very funny. I have to tell you, if there is a slip up in my film, no one's caught it and told me about it yet. So I'm sure there's something. I even went so far, when I grew up in Bushwick and I would take the L train to Manhattan during the 70s, it was called the LL train. It wasn't the L train. It was only for the decade of the 70s. And actually had a sign created that said LL with a magnetic back. And as you'll see in the movie, as the characters coming up the stairs from the train station, we stuck that sign to the background and it says LL, not L. So I took a lot of care and really, paid attention to detail. Having said that, there may be something there that gives it away, but I haven't seen it yet.
No, those period pieces are hard to do. So
very hard, especially as a first-time filmmaker. I mean, this is my first time as a producer. It's my first time at all of this, except for the acting.
Wow. And you acted in it too.
I acted in it too, and I had a monologue. I mean, I play Father Brennan, the headmaster of Xavier High School, who was based on my headmaster, Father Keenan, who unfortunately passed away 2 weeks before we filmed at Xavier at 87 years old. So it was kind of a very poignant time. And I was at the church next door for his mass. And then 2 weeks later, I was in the office of the headmaster playing the role that was inspired by him, let's say.
Wow.
So it was poignant. But yeah, I had a monologue and it was a very long day. We only had one day to film there. And my monologue happened at the end of the day. And it was challenging. It was challenging to direct and run the film all day and then do the monologue towards the tail end of the day. But it worked. We got it done. And again, Jack and Dave were right by my side the whole way. I couldn't have done it without them. So
how does the acting process go for you since you started acting? So you're auditioning all these young guys.
Yeah, I've helped other filmmakers with auditions. So I've gone, I've been on the other side of the table, but it is interesting. It's interesting, to have been on one side of the table for a number of years and then to go to the other side of the table. But I think that having had the experience as an actor and being able to bring that to the project helped a lot. Certainly with casting, directing, I would say that my experience as an actor really, really benefited me when it came to casting and directing. So
yeah, absolutely.
I like the casting process. Of course, I hate having to tell someone, that they didn't get a role, especially since there was so many talented young actors and actresses that auditioned, many of whom I knew personally or through family, and so very, very hard with a number of the characters to decide who was quite right for the role.
How was your editing process since this is your first one to edit?
Well, I am blessed with a phenomenal editor, and I think you might know her, Darren Davison. She is absolutely wonderful, and Dave Mosloff and I just collaborated on our second film, The Rooftop, which Darren also edited. And not only is she a phenomenal editor, she is unbelievably wonderful to work with. Just a pleasure to work with. Creative and open to ideas. And we just, I'm sure it's not just me that had a great, camaraderie with her. I think everybody she works with does. So, yeah. Great. So I enjoyed the editing process too. That was actually the least stressful part of the whole thing. the locations, and because it was outdoors and we were subject to weather and other things, very, very stressful. But the editing was the fun part. I enjoyed that a lot.
And when did you shoot again? You said November. You said you shot what month?
Well, the movie takes place Memorial Day weekend before graduate. Memorial Day weekend, 1979. It's the Memorial Day before the main character's high school graduation. So we needed to film in warmer weather, and it was July, and I was really, as I said, I was getting frustrated, and I felt like we couldn't start filming in September. It would have taken us into the winter months. So either I needed to get going soon, or I needed to put the project off. And as I mentioned before, I was going to put the project off until this spring or summer. But, Jack and Dave pushed me, and I'm so happy they did, because it worked out great. So we filmed some interior scenes in November, but the exterior scenes were done in August and September and the very beginning of October.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is all New York?
All New York, mostly Bushwick. Manhattan was my high school.
Any Long Island?
What?
Any out in Long Island at all, or no?
Long Island, I mean, there was one of the pivotal scene in the movie, which is that the house party. And I'm not going to give away what happens at the house party for those that watch the film, but that's the pivotal scene in the movie, right? So I was looking at houses in Long Island. I was looking at houses in Westchester. We needed a really magnificent home with a pool in the back. That was the idea. Yeah. And these group of kids from Brooklyn get invited to this house by a young lady who one of them meets at a disco in the city. And then everything goes from there. Everything kind of goes to hell after that. But so we had to really show the contrast between these kids who are growing up in lower middle class Brooklyn and this opulent home. So we were looking at homes, and I just randomly stumbled upon this home in Whitestone. It was actually an old friend of mine's brother's house, which I didn't even know. And it's right on the water, and it worked out great. So it was Brooklyn, that one scene in Queens, and then the one day in Manhattan. But it was almost all Brooklyn.
Anything like, do you have any where people can reach out to you, or maybe Instagram or Facebook or anything that you want to post out there, or the film?
Found by Bushwick is on Instagram. I personally am on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. Feel free to reach out. The trailer is on both my Instagram and the movie, my personal Instagram and the movie Instagram. There's also a trailer for my newer movie, The Rooftop, on there, which I actually played a lead. It was written by Dave Muzzoff, and we co-produced it, and I played a lead in that one.
So it's almost done?
It's done. It's done. It's finished, and Darren just finished editing it a few weeks ago. So you'll be seeing submissions for that at some point to your film festival too. So we haven't really gotten going on submitting to film festivals yet, but we will. So I'm. And
how's this one doing so far? I know you played here and out here down the shore. You just starting up with this, right? That was the first time.
That's right. Just starting up with that. Jersey Shore was our first film festival. You're our second one. And then we have a number of other ones. We just got accepted into the Urban Film Festival in Miami.
Oh, I just came back from Miami. I love Miami. Got to go to Miami.
Yeah, that's Labor Day weekend down there, and I can't make it because I have a family function. But my lead actress who's from Miami is going to go down and represent the film. So we're just starting to get the ball rolling with film festivals now. So it's an exciting time, and I'm really excited to be there on Sunday. I'm going to be there all day. Jack Foley has a film in the 1 o'clock block of films. I'm there and support him. Dave Muzzoff also has a film in the 5:30 block like me. So we're going to be there all day.
Movies all day.
All day. So and Saturday I have a barbecue in Spring Lake. So I'm staying in Jersey. I'm spending the whole week.
Wow.
So wow. I'm excited.
That's right down the road from me here where I'm at. But
Spring Lake's beautiful.
Yeah. And then on Saturday we're having like a flashback of all like some old films. So we have like 4 sets of that going on. So that should be fun too.
That's great.
Something different.
Really exciting to people who were in your festival before to now have their films being shown again.
Yeah, I kind of had to cut it off after 4 sets. There's a lot of movies.
I don't know how you do it, man, but good for you. You're great. You give so many filmmakers the opportunity to show their films.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful what you do and your festivals. And as you know, I was out at your festival out here last year. I'm trying to get you to come out and do another one out here.
We're gonna work on a venue. We got to find a venue. Once we find a venue, maybe we'll do it again. But it's also my week off of school, so it's hard to say. Do I really want to go back to it?
I get it. I get it. Well, it doesn't have to be then. You know, it can be.
It could be another time. Yeah, it could be
time. You know,
the summer in Long Island, though. Not a good time to do it.
Well, I don't know. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
We'll talk about it.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you.